Spring is here, and for clay shooters that can only mean one thing: the Essex Masters. It's the first big sporting clay competition of the year and the one everyone would love to win. Here's AAA shooter Phil Gray.
It's the biggest entry shoot in the UK. John always does a good thing. Prize money's good. And it's the start of the clay shooting season, really. It's not a CPSA major, but everyone looks at it like a major, and it's kind of nice to know where you stand start of the year, and it's a good one to hit the ground running if you manage to win it.
The Masters regularly attracts more than 2,000 shooters to test their skill against 200 notoriously tricky targets set by John Dyson. Neville J from Essex Gun has been involved with the shoot since it was set up more than 20 years ago.
Yeah, John's the master at putting clay shoots on, so he gets this together every year. Everybody seems to enjoy it. People keep coming back. It must be good. So he's got a way of making targets look like you can't miss them, and they're a lot more difficult than they appear to be. But that's the clever bit with using speed and backgrounds, and it's just good. The organisation that he puts into it, the amount of people that he involves in it is huge. And we're very proud to have sponsors every year. Like this year we've got Caesar Guarini, we've got Game Ball. It's, it all helps. And not only that, we try and raise a few quid for the kiddies charity every year for the kiddies hospice, and we managed to do that and top it up a little bit for them. So
there are two courses, black and red, each consisting of 100 targets over 13 stands. Most people shoot one course in the morning and the other in the afternoon, making it a grueling 200 bird day. But that isn't always the case. Shooting coach Max Tarr has travelled up from Bristol, and after his experience last year, he's taking a different approach.
Yes, because last year we felt it was a little bit rushed, as I thought, actually, let's go and have a more of an enjoyable day. Let's relax, shoot the red course on the first day, black course on the Sunday, and then just hopefully split it up in between and make more of an adventure with it, really. We shot very well last year, but hopefully I was going to make this year even better, but unfortunately that hasn't happened, but maybe next year, I think. All I want to do is beat last year's score. Considering last year was the first year, if I can put in a reasonable score this year, I will beat that score, and you know what, I think that'll be enough for this year. This is only the first big competition of the year, and it's nice to be out in the sun rather than being cold and in jeans and big thick jackets as well, so hopefully this will be the start of something good this year. I shoot a Browning XS Pro of the Crown Edition, which I bought just after I got engaged, so it was more of an engagement present to me, and I've been shooting it since September 2021, and I've thoroughly enjoyed it. I think the XS Pro in general is one of the best guns at that price range, and it's certainly served me well over the last couple of years.
Another Browning enthusiast is Gary Jones, who's shooting with the Essex Masonic Clay Association.
1 out of 4. And it's just like-minded masons who enjoy the sport, formed their own society, and we all meet up at grounds and shoot against other provinces, and it's good. I've only had this gun a couple of months, so still getting used to it. I've always shot Brownings. I had a 5.25, well, I've still got it. And then thought I'd treat myself to a 7.25. I've always liked the pro sport. I mean, you get so many, weights and triggers and so much adjustment and value for money. I mean, it shoots lovely. Yeah, I think the red course I've got about 43, and I think the black course I've got about 46, so I'm happy with that. They're deceiving, a few of them. You think, I can hit them all day long until you're stood in front of them.
As the week goes on, all eyes are on the huge scoreboard that takes up an entire wall of the barn. Leading the field since Monday is Olympic gold medalist and multiple world champion Richard Faulds, with an impressive 193. Last year's winner, Browning shooter Sam Green, is close with 192, but so far no one has managed to equal Richard's score. Even the legendary George Digweed has only managed 186 against John Dyson's fiendish targets. As we go into the final day, it's all still there for the taking, and we have some top shots competing today. Phil Gray starts strongly with 96 on the black course, then powers through red, dropping just one target on the first 9 stands. It's all going so well, and then at stand 10 the wheels come off.
I just had a complete and utter brain fart, if I'm deadly honest, and switched off and wasn't thinking about what I was doing and took it for granted, and then went into panic mode.
Yeah.
I knew I didn't have much to play with, and
Yeah.
then let a few more slip away.
There wasn't anything particular about that target, was it?
It's not nice. It's not nice. You wouldn't choose to shoot it, but you also wouldn't have thought I'd have missed 3 of them. That's for sure.
Yeah. And I mean, by the time you missed 3, that was it. You would.
Well, I had to straight the last 2 stands for a 192 then, so
Right.
that was quite easy. Then the pressure was off.
Yeah. The next challenger for Richard's lead is Henry Collins. In the morning, he puts in a good score on what's arguably the more difficult red course.
Yeah, 96, which I was pleased with, to be fair. Missed one on the first stand and then unfortunately missed one on the last, and just a couple in the middle got away. But for the course, I was happy for what it was, and especially being a major first sort of big one of the year, I was pleased to put a decent score in first round.
And then, of course, you had to
Yeah,
the other course.
yeah, started off all right, and then unfortunately the wheels fell off, ran out of puff, I think. But still finished up all right, finished on 90 for a total of 186. Few light, but again, happy. First major of the year, so hopefully if I can carry on a bit of form, we should be all right.
Yeah.
So no, good shoot though.
Now tell me about the gun you were using.
Yeah, so today I've been shooting a Browning GTI trap gun, 1993, so 30 years old, still fixed 3/4 and full, and I've had it 3 weeks. So yeah, I normally shoot a Maruku, but picked this up the other week in the shop, and I thought I've just got to have it. And yeah, I've shot 2 94s with it, and then came here today and managed a 96 and a 90. So keep it up with it.
Obviously works.
Yeah, for an old gun.
What do you like about it?
To be honest with you, it just, you know when you just pick a gun up and it feels natural. You don't have any effort with it, it swings nice, the kills are good. Obviously you've got confidence with a good kill with tight chokes anyway. But I find those tight chokes are just making me focus a little bit more. Not so much on the big targets, but on those closer ones. I know I haven't got a lot of room for error. So I'm just really getting knuckled down and focusing on those targets. But no, it just swings so well.
Yeah.
Yeah, so close, but yet so far. Maybe next year.
Yeah, absolutely. So with Sam Green not showing for a shoot-off, second place goes to Phil Gray. And Richard Faulds' 193 has proved unbeatable, winning the coveted Essex Masters trophy.
Yeah, no, delighted. It's always a good start to the year, really, to come up here, and I haven't shot it for a few years. Shot it, last time I shot it was 2 years ago. Yeah. Didn't shoot it last year, but yeah, it's nice to come up and shoot it early in the week and put in a decent score and let everyone else try and chase it. I don't mind doing it either way, you know, setting a score for people to chase it. You know, if all goes well on the day, then great, but you know, if at the end of the day you've got to go out and chase a score, then that's always a good test as well. But you know, it's always a tough shoot to win because everyone comes to this one, and you've got to be 110%. Otherwise, if you're not, someone else will be.
For more clay shooting coverage, follow Clay Sports TV. And for more about Browning shotguns, go to browning.eu.